Today we saw the ceremonial welcoming accorded to Prime Minister Modi on day 2 of his visit to Cyprus. We still have with us our guests, Professor Bharadwaj and Ambassador Panda, to walk you through the significance in terms of symbolism and substance of the PM's ongoing visit to the island nation. Ambassador Panda, if we can come to you, talking about signaling and messaging. If we zoom out and look at the region as a whole, given what we know about Cyprus's ties with Turkey, India's own issues with Turkey, especially in light of Operation Sindoor, Turkey offering political, diplomatic support to Pakistan, supplying drones that were used against India after Operation Sindoor, and also Turkey turning a blind eye to terrorism coming from Pakistan directed against India. Given all those things that we know, is there scope for doing more on the India-Cyprus front? And also, would this visit go unnoticed in Ankara, for instance?
No, absolutely not. Ankara is closely watching how this visit unfolds. And obviously now India is very clearly, and there's no doubt about it, that it's building strategic alliances with Turkey's detractors. I mean, yeah, there's a commonality of interest. So there's a dual strategy here. One is to diplomatically isolate Pakistan in or you can put it rather more clearly, the Turkey-Pakistan nexus. But at the same time, there is a realization now that it is time to push forward this card, and there are many things on the table, and we have to go ahead and do it. So far as India's relations with Turkey, Greece, Armenia, etc., these have to be elevated now to the next level. And Prime Minister in his address yesterday was also referring to in Limassol to the business community. There is about $100 billion of infrastructure projects that India has plans for. And of course, there are many Turkish companies who are interested in these infrastructure projects. Now, on security grounds, if there is a possibility of debarring these Turkish companies, that opens up avenues for the Cypriots and the Cypriot companies to come into India with not only investment, but also with their technology and participate in infra projects. So it opens up a major, strategic partnership with Cyprus. But what is more important at this stage is you have to look at the bigger picture. The larger picture is EU. Now, Europe at this point is going through a different, the post, now with the volatile US policies or Trump's policies, there is for the first time, there is a transatlantic divide which is widening. And this is the time that when multilateral institutions are really fading, there is a possibility of resurgence of Europe. And now for India and Europe, this is a possibility to anchor a new pole in this multipolar world, to anchor a new pole. And that also explains why the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar visited Europe twice in the last few days. So I think that as was mentioned earlier, I mean, this visit is particularly important. I mean, killing several birds in one stone. And Cyprus is also taking over the rotating presidency of EU for the first 6 months of 26. And that is when really we look at a major opportunity for pushing forward the FTA and taking forward many of the projects that we have, which are in the works.
Yes, Professor Bharadwaj, is it fair game, would you say, that India is building strategic alliances in the European region, including with Cyprus, which is very strategically located, we know, and is also seen as a sentry in a sense to that region because it's at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, as well as Europe. Considering that India did extend a fig leaf to Ankara with Operation Dost, if you would remember, after Turkey was ravaged by the earthquake in 2023. However, Ankara, in a sense, backstabbed India. It did not reciprocate. It supported Pakistan instead, diplomatically and militarily, and continues to parrot Pakistan's line on Kashmir issue and is not sensitive to India's core concerns and sensitivities.
No, absolutely correct. So India is working on three fronts. One is, of course, it has emerged as the voice of global South, particularly after G20 summit that India has hosted and talks about the one earth, one people and one village. So we have been talking about that. Let's talk about the global commons and global goods, particularly keeping the global South into considerations and where India can represents the voices of global South. So this was the first concerns, and there we are trying to connect the not only the Asian countries, but we are also looking beyond Asia to the African countries, where African Union was also been included in the G20. And now we are connecting with the European countries through the different infrastructure projects, while we are talking about the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. And there Cyprus is the gateway to enter in the European countries.